So guys, you guys came here. This is your third season. This is the year you guys are targeting. Now it's here. What's that like for you?
Well, I think it's the first time that we've been able to put a team together and cover all the positions with some interesting players. So I think to speak for myself, I'm excited about it. I think Mike is excited about it. We've upgraded different positions on the floor, and I think that it's a team that so far, being here the last 2 or 3 weeks, has shown a commitment, a professionalism, and a desire to become a winning team. So, if they continue that, then I think we'll have a good year.
What have you seen differently this year than you did in the past few years?
Well, as I said before, we have big men, we have small forwards, we have people who can play shooting guard, and we have point guards. And I think the players are players who can fit into Mike's system. Our point guards push the ball and create a fast tempo, and they do it throughout. They don't stop doing that. And that can be a very effective way to play. And at the same time, we have a lot of big men who are athletic and can get down the floor, and when they get the ball, they can do something with it. They can either drive it to the basket, shoot it. So we have some skilled players that are big, like Gallo and Randolph, but they're athletic. They can, for the most part, Gallo can shoot it. He's better at taking the ball to the goal. Randolph is a major athlete, and I think will create some highlight films in Madison Square Garden. And he's a good shot blocker, so he could probably play at least 2, maybe 3 positions. Gallo can play 2, maybe 3. So we have a lot of interchangeable parts too. And I'll let Mike answer how he's going to end up doing this, but I think he could play big or small with this team, which is a goal that I've always had as a GM, to be able to play big or small, because the league has gotten that way now.
Mike, you want to talk about it?
Well, I think that Donnie hit on all the points. Probably the biggest thing that stands out for me is just we've upped our athleticism tenfold. I mean, not just a little bit, but almost in every position, athletically, we're a lot better. We just thought last year a lot of times we couldn't compete athletically, and that shouldn't be the case this year. I think Wilson went from our probably best athlete to one of the top 5, with Amari, with Randolph especially, Amari. Raymond Felton's very athletic, very fast for point guard. Muskov is a guy that hopefully you'll be talking a lot about later on. And we have a lot of question marks. And I think we're anxious, we're excited. And then we'll see how the question marks pan out. If all of them are as good as we would like for them to be, then obviously we could have a very good year.
What are you looking to get out of training camp? What are you looking for out of the players and for yourself?
Well, it's like every team, every training camp, you try to get them in shape. You try to get the chemistry started with them. You try to get them into the system, and then for coaches to find out what we got and how to play them and what combinations might work, what might not. You have one impression going in, you might have another impression coming out. Training camp will be interesting because we also have the European trip in that. And but again, I'm speaking like 30 other coaches in the league. We're all excited to get started and see what we got, and I'm pretty happy about it.
For the European trip, how excited are you to go back to Italy?
It's great. Spent 21 years there, so a lot of memories. And we're playing against the team that I played and coached for 17 years, and a lot of the people that I play with still live there. So obviously for me, and I'm sure for Danilo, it's going to be an exciting time, and hopefully we can get a lot of good work anyway. But looking forward to it.
Now that LeBron and Dwayne and everybody's at their team, all the talk now is Carmelo. Is the team open to do what it takes to get him now? That he reportedly said this is the first team he wants to come to.
Well, we can't talk about trades, and I'm not going to talk about trades. I'm focused on the team we have here now, and when training camp starts, how it comes together, and then we'll look at it and see what we think we should do, if anything.
Nice feeling that he wants to come here.
New York, New York.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Great place to be. I tell you that.
You guys spent a long time in Indiana, Phoenix. Where does this team's skill set and talent rank among all the teams you've been with?
I don't know. I coached the team in Benetton. We're a little bit better than them, maybe. I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
And we'll find out. We have a lot of possibilities and hope for the best. But like I said, I do know that we have some young players. You never know how the young players will react to the league, to the 82 games and all that. But they're very talented, very coachable, great guys that should, if the synergies are right, just keep getting better. And that's what we're going to try to make happen, and hopefully it does.
Does Eddie Curry have a role?
Well, he's coming in probably tomorrow. He had to. He didn't come in and work out, which is his right as a player. We don't hold anything against him for that. And he definitely has a role if he comes ready to play because he got talent. He's a big guy. He's going to have to, if he's right, you're going to have to double team him. And he'd be a good counterweight to Amari. So yeah, I mean he could if he gets out there and performs well.
Do you almost have to build a team around how to stop Miami now? Does thought come up like that where they're obviously probably the team to beat now? Do you got to build a team that can kind of keep up with them?
Well, yeah, I think you do. And Orlando and Boston, I mean, there are other really good teams in the conference. And so I think you have to be prepared to play against all of them and the rest of the league because nobody's real bad in the NBA. And I think we've tried to do that by covering all the positions, by being big, by being athletic, by having guys with skill, and also our style. So if we can get our style, I think with most teams that's going to bother them. If I'm not sure Miami would be one of those teams because they're very athletic. But, we'll see.
What would constitute a good season for the team this year?
Well, our goal is always to try to make the playoffs, and that's as far as we go. I'm not predicting wins and all that. Because has anybody ever gone back and looked at what the projections of wins were? When people say, well, I think this team's going to win 75 games. I just saw that somewhere. Well, what did they win? You know what I mean, at the end of the year. That's too hard to do. There are too many variables. You could have injuries, you don't know. So teams that you think will be good teams probably will, but they have a chance if the wrong guy goes down, they might not. And that's true for everybody.
What are your expectations for the season as to how far you can go?
As I said, we want to go to the playoffs. And once you're in the playoffs, that's a whole new season. Then once you're there, then you want to do well in the playoffs and try to get to the next round. It's more of a in-the-moment thing. That
Donnie, from what we saw in the games the United States played against Russia, Moscow played pretty well. How does that fit in your plans, knowing that he played pretty well professionally against some pretty good players?
Well, it made me feel good because we signed him and he's going to be on our team. He just came in yesterday and played, and today played. And, he played well. I mean, I think he's got a chance to be a good NBA player. I really do. He's got great size, very good athleticism for his size. And he's got the temperament for a big guy. He's got big guy instincts, I think. He'll have to go through foul trouble and stuff like that all big rookies have to go through. But I think on the other side of that, I think he's going to got a chance to be a very good NBA player.
Coach, you saw the problems he gave in the first couple of minutes of that game.
Yeah, no, he's. We liked him on tape, and we were excited about him. That's why, we signed him for 3 or 4 years, whatever it is. But you never know until you get him, and we still don't know until the season happens. We still won't know until after the season because everybody goes through a phase where there are ups and downs, and he'll have a learning curve. But what we see so far, we're excited about it, and we want to keep working with him and see how far he can go. But he's 7'1", athletic, and knows how to play, and so far so good.
270.
Coach, which of the players you brought in aside from Amari, who we all know about, do you expect to really step up this year and be the big call?
I think we have some sure shot. I think Raymond Felton is a very good point guard, very good, and so I think that's. I don't know at what level, but he'll be good, and you know what you're going to get. Everybody else kind of. I'm trying to go real quick. We have a little bit of a question mark in the sense that, how good is Gallo what he was last year, or does he make another jump? Is Wilson Chandler as good as he was last year? Does he go from averaging 14 to 19? Does he make another jump? Anthony Randolph just turned 21 maybe a month or two ago, and I have no idea. I just know here's a 6'11" guy that plays as hard as he can play. He's strong. He's not afraid. He runs. He could be very good, or he could have a year where he's trying to sort it out. We just have so many of those guys. Muskoff, the same thing. Young guy, Tony Douglas. Landry Fields, who had a great summer. Does that mean he'll have a great winter? We just don't know. We're excited about the prospect. I'm excited about working with them and with the group that we have. I think our constants are, what Turioff's going to give, what Roger Mason's going to give you, what Amari and Raymond Felton. But the rest of them, are a little bit of a question mark. We'll see what they can give us, and it could be very good.
You have a lot of new players, a lot of young players. How long do you think it'll take till the team hits its stride?
We could sit here. I could tell you that's 2 weeks. I have no clue. It could be immediately, and it'll depend a little bit of the chemistry between Raymond Felton and Amari to start with. But Raymond is very good team kind of guy, and I think it'll be sooner than later, but you just never know. But I do think eventually I think they have a great chemistry together.
But Mike and Donnie, and probably Donnie, you had this in Indiana. When your best player wants to set the tone in practice, as he said, I want to make sure we practice like we play. What does that do for the coach?
Well, a lot of times that keeps coach around. That's it. I mean, that's when your best players are your hardest workers, then you're going to be good. And that's where we've gotten to. And Amari has always been a hard worker, and Raymond Felton's a hard worker. And when they set the tone, everybody else falls in line. And if they don't, then it won't affect your guys. So that's the key to any success on any level is when your best 2 players set the tone.
Obviously.
Yeah, I think Mike's right. And I think that's what leadership is. It isn't speeches. It isn't rah-rah. It's guys who are really good that go out and practice hard every day because the rest of the team then looks and goes, well, if he's doing that, I've got to do that. And if he's still doing that, I can get a lot better if I do it. So they follow the lead of the player who does that when he's one of your top players. That was exactly what happened to our team with Reggie Miller. I mean, Reggie came in and worked hard every day, so everybody else came in and worked hard every day. And I think that's true of
everyone. Steve now, I mean, you can just go down. Amari learned that from Steve, I'm sure. And he wants to set the tone here, and he will.